Hi everyone. This week I would like to reach out for a bit of advice from all of you. I'm really struggling with conquering some of my fears surrounding the death and dying process. This is something that I was aware of before I started this internship. Um, Basically, it all kind of centered around some negative experiences with the death and dying process when I did a brief internship with a different hospice in the area. That occurred during my undergrad, and the school really did not sit me down and talk about the different experiences that I might encounter. And they did not say, the type of activities that were okay and were not okay. So I was put in a lot of situations where I really should not have been, such as they would send me to these facilities to see patients who were actively dying. That was something that the school was not supposed to be doing, but there was a major disconnect between the hospice and the facility not communicating with me these things. So I ended up being put in um, several facilities where a person was actively dying and it was basically, sitting there and watching this person be in pain and just holding their hand while they were dying. And this is someone who I had never met before and hadn't really had a connection with. So it was really difficult to see someone's loved one suffering in that kind of way. And mind you, I was pretty young at that time, and I had never had any experiences with a loved one passing away, um, especially not in a facility all by themselves, with no loved ones around them. So that just kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. So when I took this internship, it was kind of to help me conquer those fears and how uncomfortable the death and dying process made me feel. So this is something that I have brought up with my field instructor, Twyla. However, it sounds like it's something that she too struggles with, so I really didn't get that much advice in that realm. Um, and the little bit that she did share with me actually made me feel worse. The other day, she had told me after we left a home, you know, when you're in some of our patient homes, sometimes will supply things like towels for the family, which I found to be really interesting. And the reason is it's to hide any kind of blood. So that was kind of awful. Like I hadn't realized that, so that kind of that made me even more nervous. So the whole time that I was trying to do this interview, that's all I could think about because who wouldn't? It's horrible. So I guess my biggest thing is just kind of getting past that so I can actually have a conversation with these people. Because right now I feel like I am just so paralyzed and anxious over this that I can't have a conversation. I It just makes me so nervous talking to someone who isn't even actively dying but may not be able to communicate in the way that I would communicate with someone else. And I feel like I've only had maybe two patients where I really struggled with that with, and those were more nonverbal patients, and I was trying to conduct the interview with them. They weren't really lucid, so I didn't really know what to say or do. It just made me really uncomfortable trying to ask some more of the like some of the questions that we have to ask in these homes is how long have you been sick? Um, what are your expectations of the death and dying process? And um, I feel like those are really tough questions to ask someone who is in this really difficult time in their life, especially for someone who's fairly young. Um, so I'm just really struggling with having this conversation with people. I have no problem talking to a family member um, and asking these questions, but I feel like I'm really struggling having a conversation with the person who is actively dying or or close to that time. So I'm just kind of looking for some advice on how I can handle this because I haven't really received um, anything that has been helpful to me this far. I look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you.